Secure Cloud SME, Module 6, Capacity Building for VET Providers, Part A. In this segment, we are breaking down strategy and SME profiling.
When we design training for small and medium-sized enterprises, we really have to face reality right out of the gate. SMEs operate with incredibly tight margins. They have limited time, limited staff, and limited resources. They simply can't afford to sit through lengthy, purely theoretical training programs. Think about traditional VT programs for a second. They often lean heavily on theory. But what an SME actually needs right now are practical skills they can apply immediately. This is exactly why VET providers have got to abandon that old one-size-fits-all approach. Instead, we need flexible, modular programs that are co-designed directly with industry stakeholders. Imagine swapping out a dense, generic cybersecurity course for hyper-targeted modules, things like recognizing phishing, managing access rights, or setting up basic cloud controls. By using tools like micro-credentials and tapping into real labor market feedback, VET institutions can transform from mere educators into active, vital partners in an SME's growth.
Now, practicality also means context. Cloud security training has to be sector-specific, simply because risks are sector-specific. Think about it. A healthcare clinic is going to be hyper-focused on patient data and strict compliance. A retail shop, they're battling to secure payment gateways every single day. Meanwhile, a manufacturer is out there trying to protect its complex supply chain and operational technology systems. When you ground your training in the learner's specific sector, you instantly prove its value. You show them that you truly understand their daily realities.
Even within a single sector, or honestly, within a single room, you're going to encounter a vast range of technical maturity. You might have administrative staff sitting right next to seasoned IT specialists. Because of this, your training absolutely must be tiered. For the basics, it's all about building that initial awareness, learning to spot suspicious emails, or getting multi-factor authentication set up. But for your advanced technical staff, it's about rolling up their sleeves in hands-on labs, managing complex cloud identities, and actively monitoring security. Match the method to the learner. When you do that, the training becomes infinitely more effective.
To truly tailor this training, we categorize SMEs into 5 distinct profiles. First up, we have the abandoned SME. These are businesses that basically lack any in-house IT expertise and are largely unaware of the digital threats lurking out there. They need foundational awareness, a lot of motivation, and heavy, step-by-step expert guidance just to get started.
Next, we look at the unskilled SME. Now, this group knows cybersecurity matters. They get the importance of it, but they just don't quite know how to execute it properly. Their training needs to be highly hands-on, providing them with structured support and practical, everyday tools they can actually use.
Then we have the expert-connected SME. Unlike the previous groups we discussed, they fully understand the risks, but they've chosen to outsource their security to third-party providers. So for them, training isn't about configuring firewalls. It's about understanding service-level agreements and knowing how to effectively manage their vendor responsibilities. It's a completely different skill set.
Moving further up the maturity ladder, we find the capable SME. Armed with dedicated staff and solid internal security policies, they really don't need the basics anymore. What they require is advanced, continuous training and up-to-the-minute threat intelligence to keep their defenses sharp.
Finally, there's the provider SME. These are actually the IT and cybersecurity service providers themselves. With an already strong, established security culture, they come to the table hungry for cutting-edge innovations and advanced operational practices to stay ahead of the curve.
So, what does this entire framework tell us? It essentially proves that generic, off-the-shelf training is a wasted effort. Effective capacity building has to be surgically adapted to the specific maturity and the daily business reality of the company you're working with.
It also completely dispels a very common myth, the idea that size equals security. It simply doesn't. A small company might have incredibly locked down, robust practices, while a massive enterprise might still be struggling with basic vulnerabilities. It's capability, not headcount, that must dictate your training strategy.
What this means on the ground is that your interventions must be highly targeted. Low-awareness SMEs need immediate IT hygiene, and it needs to be communicated in simple, accessible terms. High-maturity SMEs, on the other hand, need specialized tools and expert-level updates. The rule here is simple. You have to meet them exactly where they are.
But we can't just stop at profiling the company. We have to profile the individual actually sitting in the classroom. Adult learners bring a complex mix of past experiences, different motivations, and widely varying levels of digital literacy to the table. You can use self-assessments, interviews, or even focus groups to map this out. But remember, the goal isn't just to collect data for the sake of it. The real goal is to use that data to perfectly calibrate your difficulty level, pick the most relevant real-world examples, and select the exact teaching methods that will make these concepts truly click for them.
To wrap this up, effective SME training really rests on 3 core pillars: aligning with labor market needs, adapting to the sector's specific maturity level, and deeply understanding the individual learner. When vet providers master these 3 elements, they aren't just delivering theory, they're delivering training that is undeniably essential. So as you go to design your next curriculum, I want you to ask yourself this: are you just delivering information, or are you actively building the specific capabilities your local SMEs need to survive today's digital threats?